Dear students, see last time we completed examples of lesson number 5, that is laws of motion, and we started exercise numericals also. Now we proceed further in this lesson. Now next is exercise sum number 5.9. Now see, the question says, see, a rocket is moving okay. See, the rocket is moving upward with the acceleration of initial acceleration of 5 meter per second square. Okay. Now see, when explosion takes place, okay, when explosion takes place, we have to calculate the force, initial force acting on the rocket. See, the mass of the rocket is 20,000 kg. Okay, and the g value we have to consider as 10 meter per second square. Now we know the gravitational acceleration always in the opposite direction. Let us say T is a thrust. Okay, T is a thrust acting on the rocket. Now what are the forces here? See, the weight of the rocket is in downward direction. So what we can write? See, the resultant force by using Newton's second law of motion, T minus mg. Okay, T is the thrust or the force, is equal to ma. So we can write T is equal to mg plus ma. See, what we can do? M is common, m into g plus a. Now see, the mass is 20,000, that is 2 into 10 to 4. G is 10. Acceleration is 5. Okay, so 15 into 2, 30. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the thrust or the force. Now see, here the rocket moves in upward direction. Okay, with the initial acceleration of 5 meter per second square, mass is given as 20,000 kg. We have to calculate the initial thrust or the force. Okay, here T we assume that is a force. You can write F also, then there is also no problem. So we can use the Newton's second law of motion, T minus mg. Okay, see, the net acceleration is A is equal to ma. So by solving this, we can obtain the value of thrust or the force. So this is about exercise sum number 5.9. Now next is exercise sum number 5.10. Now this one is little bit lengthier one. Now see, the mass of the body is 0.4 kg. Now see, it moves with the initial velocity of 10 meter per second. Okay. Now see, the force act in the south direction. F is equal to 8 Newton, that is in the south direction. Okay, see, the initial velocity is 10 meter per second and the force that is in the north direction. See, the force is in the south direction. So what we can say, the force is a retarding force. Now what we have to calculate? See, the moment we apply the force, that we have to consider as T is equal to 0. Okay, now we have to calculate the position. Okay, T is equal to 0, and that time you have to consider x also as a 0. Now we have to calculate position at first. Three things we have to find out. One is T is equal to minus 5 seconds. Okay, one by one we will be solving this. Now see here, see the retarding force. Okay, F is equal to ma, A is equal to F upon m. Okay, F is 8. Okay, mass is 0.4. So acceleration is minus 20. Okay, acceleration is minus 20. Okay, now, but see, our time is given as minus 5 seconds. That is a before time is given before the force is applied. It is less than 5 seconds. Why? Because this is minus 5 seconds. So during that time, it will move with a constant velocity. So there is no impact of force applied okay, at t is equal to minus 5 seconds. So that means okay, no impact of the force at t is equal to minus 5 seconds. That means that it moves with a constant velocity. Okay, so at t is equal to minus 5 seconds, it moves with a constant velocity. So distance covered v is equal to d by t, or v0 is the initial velocity, so d is equal to v0 into t. v0 is 10. Okay, so at t is equal to 5 second, its position will be minus 50. Now second part is t is equal to 25 seconds. Okay, now see, just now we have f is equal to a is equal to f upon m, 8 upon 0.5 minus 20. Okay, force is 8 Newton. Okay, and mass is 0.4 kg. Okay, so that is 20 minus 20 meter per second square. This is 20 meter per second square. But why? Because it is a retardation. Okay, we have to take as a negative. So now secondly, t is equal to 25 seconds, that is after t is equal to 0. So that means that it moves with a constant retardation here, and initial velocity will be 10 meter per second and time is 25 seconds. So at t is equal to, during t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 25 seconds, it has moved with a constant acceleration. Now see, we are very much familiar with the equation d is equal to v0 t plus half at square. Now v0 is 10, time is 25, 1 by 2, a is how much? Minus 20, and time is 25. Okay, t square. Okay, so now this is we can solve. So this is 250 minus 25 square is 625 into 10. See, this will become 10, 6250. So that will give us minus 6000 meters. Okay, this is the position of the object at t is equal to 25 seconds. See, we have obtained the value of acceleration again. Now again at that time, during t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 25 seconds, see, it moves with a constant acceleration. So our equation is d is equal to v naught t plus half at square. See, if I substitute the values, we'll get answer as minus 6000 meter. Now next is t is equal to 100 seconds. See, the third part, this was second part. Okay, but see, the force acts for the 30 seconds. Force acts for the 30 seconds. So for 30 seconds, it will move with a constant acceleration, and remaining 100 minus 30, it is 70 seconds, sorry, it will move with a constant. Okay, so this part is, we can say, divided into two parts. First, why? Because the question says the force is acting for only 30 seconds. So during that time interval, it moves with a constant acceleration, and after that it will move with a constant velocity. So what we can see here, see, first we have to calculate distance covered during the first 30 seconds. Again we have got the same formula that I call as d1, and this I call as d2. d1 is v0 t plus half at square. Here v0 is 10, time is 30, acceleration is minus 20, 30 square, 300. Okay, 300 square is minus 9000. Okay, 900 into 10 minus. Okay, that is will be. Okay, this is the distance covered in first 30 seconds. Okay, now see what after that it will move with a constant velocity, but we have initial velocity is given as 10 meter per second. So we have to calculate velocity at 10 seconds. Velocity at 70 seconds. Okay, so what is the formula here? Now 30 seconds it travel with the constant acceleration. So what do we have to find out? See the velocity at first 30 seconds. Now our equation, v is equal to v naught plus 80, v0 is 10, a is minus 20, time is 30. Okay, so velocity is minus 50, minus 590 meter per second. Now for this much remaining 70 second, the object will travel with this velocity. So again, v is equal to d2 upon t. We can say d2 is v into t minus 590. Yeah, so we can calculate. Okay, now total distance covered will during 0 to 100 second, okay, will be d1 plus d2. Okay, so total distance covered okay 41,300 into 7, 42 and 850,000 minus 50,000. Okay, now see as such the question looks longer, but see we have to follow the basic process, so that in that sense we can obtain the answer easily. So this is nothing but example number 5.10. Now we proceed further. Next is exercise number 5.11. Okay, now see your truck start from rest. Now so moves with a constant acceleration of 2 meter per second square. Okay, now see once it is travel for 10 seconds. Okay, once it has traveled for 10 seconds, see a person sitting in a trunk drops a stone. Okay, what will be the velocity? What will be the velocity of the stone at t is equal to 11 seconds? See, the question is like this. See, the truck starts from rest. Acceleration is 2 meter per second square. See, travel for the 10 second, we can say it is given. See, and at 10 second, once it has traveled for the 10 second, a person drop a stone. We have to find out the velocity of the stone at t is equal to 11 seconds. So what we can say? See, for 10 seconds, it will travel with the accelerated motion, and once see the stone is dropped, it will move under the effect of the gravitational. Now see what will be the velocity. Okay, see the horizontal velocity, we can say vx v0x plus at. V0 is 0, okay, x direction, plus a is 2, time is 10, 20 meters. Okay, now so that is the horizontal velocity of the stone. Now see the 11 second is a time from t is equal to 0. So how much time is remaining? Okay, so the stone will have a free fall for time of 1 second. Okay, now Vy V0y plus 80. V0y is 0. Okay, now see after that it will move with a gravitational acceleration. We can say a is equal to g is equal to 10. And what is the remaining time here? 1 second. What we can say? This is the y component of the velocity. Now see, velocity is a vector quantity. It will have component vxi plus vyj, 20i plus 10j. See the magnitude of the velocity, 20 square plus 10 square. Okay, so that you can solve as 22.4 meter per second. Okay, now see what is the direction. Why? Because see the velocity is a vector quantity. It has both magnitude and direction. See, the magnitude is 22.4 meter per second, and tan theta dy upon dx. Okay, tan theta is 2. See, its angle you can obtain from the tables of tangents. Okay, so this is nothing but exercise sum number 5.11. Now see our next question, exercise sum number 5.12. Okay, now see now this is the ceiling of a room. See, a 2 meter long rope or a thread is like this. Okay, string. See, mass is 1 kg. Now this is the mean position. Okay, this is the mean position. Okay, this is the mean position. Now at velocity at the mean position 1 meter per second. Okay, velocity at the mean position is okay. Now this is the mean position. Let us say it moves in a plane like this. This is a one end. This is the second end. We can say one end. Okay, that is the end point of the path. See, it look oscillate like a pendulum like this. This is the mean position. This is the end point. Now see, when first case when the string is here at the mean position, okay, a sphere is at a mean position, we cut it like this. Now see, we have to find out what type of motion it will perform first when it is at a mean position. See, at mean position it has a constant horizontal velocity of 1 meter per second, and see, the gravitational acceleration is 10 meter per second. See, this is a motion with a constant horizontal velocity and constant vertical acceleration. That is the characteristics of a projectile motion. Constant horizontal velocity and constant vertical. Okay, that is the characteristic of projectile motion. Now we know that the path of the projectile is parabolic. So we can say when the stone or a sphere is at a mean position and the string is cut, it will move on a parabolic path. There is a projectile motion. Now see the second part. See, when it is at the end point, either at A or B. Okay, now end point, its velocity is 0 and A is equal to G. Okay, see, the gravitational acceleration will be always there, that is in the downward direction, so that will have a accelerated motion. That is a free falling, we can say. Okay, so this is how we can find out the velocity of the sphere at mean position when it is cut from the mean position, and secondly at the end. So this is about exercise sum number 5.12. Now it is said that, see, it has at mean position the velocity is 1 meter per second. Okay, when it is cut from at mean position, what will be the path? So at mean position, when it is cut, it has a constant horizontal velocity and constant vertical acceleration. See, that is the characteristics of projectile motion. So in that case, it will have a parabolic path. And when it is cut at the end point, okay, see, like this, see, only motion, acceleration G is there, no velocity. Why? Because see, at mean position velocity, at the end point, here or here, velocity is 0. So velocity is 0, only accelerated motion, and that is because of the G, that is a gravitational acceleration. So it will have free falling object. Okay, so this is about exercise number 5.2. Now next is exercise number 5.30. Now this is a example in which we will study about pseudo force or pseudo acceleration. See what pseudo means: imaginary. Fictitious or false. ये biology તમે study કરો છો ને, pseudopodia. Okay? Yes. So that is a pseudo means imaginary. Now see, remember the direction of the pseudo force. Or acceleration is in opposite direction. Okay, direction of the force, pseudo force, or the acceleration produced due to pseudo force is in opposite direction of the actual acceleration. Now see the exercise number 5.13 uses this concept. Okay, first see a person of mass 70 kg lift is in a lift there is a weighing machine. Okay, and a person is standing on it. See, we have to calculate apparent weight of the person in different cases. First case, the lift moves in upward direction with constant velocity of, see here is a constant velocity. There is zero acceleration. Now see here, see the gravitational acceleration is in the always, but here the motion is a constant acceleration, so our pseudo acceleration AP is 0. Okay, so what is the net acceleration? So it will be G minus AP, that is G only. Okay, so okay, so the weight measured is, let us say, W1. Now this is the first case. Okay, this is the first case. Now second case, the lift moves in the downward direction. Okay, second case. With now see here, the acceleration of the lift is but as I told, pseudo acceleration will be in opposite direction with the same value. Okay, so what is the net acceleration? Now here we have to consider pseudo acceleration, not the acceleration, real acceleration. So as I told, see, the pseudo acceleration is always in the opposite direction of the actual acceleration or the real acceleration. So net will be g dash will be g minus ap. See what we can do. See in the diagram, g and ap are in the opposite direction. n minus 5 is 5 meter per second square. See the weight recorded, m into g dash. Yeah, that is 350 Newton. Also the mass will be recorded will be this. Why? Mg is the force, so if I divide by g, will get mass. Yeah. Now see the third case. Lift moves in the onward direction. Yeah. Lift moves in the upward direction. Sorry. With acceleration of 5 meter per second square. Now see, this is the acceleration of the lift. Okay, 5 meter per second square. Now see our pseudo acceleration. AP also will be 5 meter per second square. That is in the opposite direction. Now see the resultant acceleration. G dash is G and AP, what we can see in the same direction. Third case, so we take M G dash. Or the weight, this is weight is the force, mass recorded will be. Okay. So this is the third case. Now see the fourth case. Let us say the system of the lift becomes failed, or we can say in the simple language, all of you have observed it is connected by a rope or something like this, such arrangement. Okay, many of type of mechanical lifts you have seen. See, it is connected with a rope like this. So the fourth case, when system of the lift breaks, yeah, system of the breaks, in that sense I am saying, let us say rope or a cable. Yeah, rope or cable breaks. So when this rope will break, let us say, see, lift will have a free fall. Okay, lift will have a free fall. So its acceleration will be equal to g 10 meter per second square. Okay, but see our AP, as I told, always in the opposite direction. Now see our resultant acceleration. See, that is made up of g and AP. Let us say g dash is g minus AP. Why? Because g and our AP, that is pseudo acceleration, are in the opposite direction. So that will be 10 minus 10, 0. See the fourth case, m into g dash. See, this particular condition is called weightlessness. Okay? Okay, this particular condition is called weightlessness. Now, see, in our day-to-day life, suppose you have to experience weightlessness, you need not to break the cable of the lift. Okay, but all of you are familiar with the spring balance, na? Okay, all of you are familiar with the spring balance. Okay, see, आज आपका पस्ती वाला है ना, ये लाइन आवे छे, और चलो गैस ना बाटलो डिलीवर करवा आवे छे. say scale from, let us say, 0 to 100. Now you attach some mass here and hold it like this. Okay, so it will show pointer, will show some weight, but you leave it. So what will happen? The system also will move with the gravitational acceleration. Okay, so in that case the object acceleration and the pseudo acceleration also will be in same value in the opposite direction. So instantaneously your pointer, which was showing some value, will show 0. See, this is the case of weightlessness. Okay, so that is nothing but our example, exercise number 5.13. Okay, now see, next is exercise sum number 5.14. Now it is based on graph. Now here x versus t graph is given. Okay, mass of the body is 4 kg. Now, what will be the impulse or force acting on a body at different time interval? Let us say first is t less than 0. Now, see, for time t less than 0, the particle is at rest. Mass, object at rest, velocity is 0, acceleration is 0, force is 0. Okay, so this is a condition for t less than 0. Now for t greater than 0, okay, t greater than 0, or let us say first is at t is equal to 0. Okay, now see, at t is equal to 0, it acquires some velocity. Now we know the slope of the graph. Give some velocity, so that will be 3 minus 0. So it will have some momentum. Now see the formula, P is equal to mv. Okay, now before t is equal to 0, it was at rest. T is equal to 0, it has attained some velocity. So delta p, this is p2 le, say p1 was 0, delta p is p2 minus p1. Okay, so this is the condition at t is equal to 0. That is, delta p is nothing but impulse. See, that will be of the value 3 kg per meter second, 3 kg meter per second. Now this is the case at t is equal to 0. Now what is the possibility at the t is equal to 4 seconds? Okay, now third case. See, it will come to rest. Okay, see, after t is equal to 0, 4 seconds it will come to rest. So v2 is 0, v2 is m into v2. Now p1 we have obtained is 3 kg meter per second. Okay, so this change in momentum, okay, change in momentum will be equal to p2 minus p1. Okay, impulse. See, finally momentum is p2 is 0, p1 is 3 minus 3 kg meter per second, or impulse of force is a Newton second. Okay, so this is how we can solve, which involves the graph. Okay, so this is nothing but our exercise number 5.14. Okay, now today we'll stop here. Next lecture will proceed further in this lesson and when complete the exercise numericals. Thank you.